Welcome back to another Roundtable. My name is Adam. I have Rusmin.
Hello.
And Victor.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about net worth. So this came out because a comment in one of our past videos was asking, how do you review your net worth? And usually when, I think for us, this is something like pretty basic.
Yep.
Right? You don't really think about it. We do it all the time. But I realized that some people may not actually do this, like these things. Yeah. And this is something that's really important when it comes to, I mean, you're watching this channel, you're about investing, growing your money, but you need to keep track of things.
Yes.
And
you need a scorecard.
you need to have a scorecard, because let's say you want to lose weight. If you don't measure your weight, you don't know if you're losing weight or not, right? So same thing here. If you're investing and you're not keeping track, ultimately of your net worth, you don't really know how well you're doing. Yeah. So we're going to show you how, if you've not done this before, or maybe this is just a reminder of like, oh yeah, I need to keep track of my net worth. This video is about how you can basically do it. All right. So some statistics. I think over here we put out a report from Credit Suisse. The average mean net worth in Singapore. Guess what it is?
I got the same report here.
Yeah, same report. 483K.
Yep.
So that's the mean net worth in Singapore dollars.
Yep.
And the median, which is I think a more accurate figure, is actually 125K.
Yeah. Quite a huge disparity.
Yeah, because there are a lot of rich people in Singapore.
Right?
So I think the median is more accurate. So 125K. What do you think? Is it a lot, or surprised by that?
I'm quite surprised by that. I think it's quite a low figure.
Quite a low figure.
I always thought Singaporeans are quite rich.
I mean, you're saying I'm talking about the medium. I'm not talking about the mean.
Yeah, the median. All right. So anyway, this is from Credit Suisse. So they did the research and all that. So recently we did a poll just to ask people who are watching this channel what your net worth is for Singaporeans anyway.
Yeah.
So what are the results for that?
I think for the bulk of it, less than $500,000 net worth, about 67% actually poll for it, and this is out of 500 votes that we got.
Okay.
Almost 500
at this
votes.
time, right?
Yeah, at this time. And obviously the rest of the 15% actually have net worth between $500,000 to about $1 million. And then you have about 12% of them actually voted they have about $1 million to $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, then you have 6%, which is the remaining, where they have actually a net worth more than $3 million.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's quite a range there, but most seem to have $500,000 or up to $500,000 basically.
But it seems like it's quite aligned to the statistics
the
over
report
here.
that we just saw.
Right. Okay, so I think that's what the statistics are showing us. But I think we need to run a quick definition of what net worth is, because I think there was one question was like, how do you define your net worth? So why don't you guys share?
So I think net worth is basically what you own versus what you owe, right? So your own, you minus what your liability, you just minus it off. Okay, I think the main thing that is really your assets is actually your house, the home that you stay, your physical assets. So that is definitely assets, but you have to minus off the bank loan when you record inside your so-called your balance sheet in the net worth Excel and all this.
Yeah, but if you are staying with your parents, that is not your asset yet.
It belongs to someone else.
So you can't take that into account.
You cannot take future potential inheritance as your asset.
Yes. So that is one item that you can look at. And of course, the other asset that you can have is your equities, right? So if you invest in the stock market, then of course that amount of money, as of the latest valuation of all your holdings, that will be equivalent to the money that you have. Okay, but if you don't take on the average, then that will be just the sum that you have under equities, or sometimes it could be just bonds if you buy fixed income like
Singapore saving bonds,
or treasury bill, or sometimes you have corporate bonds, right, that you subscribe, and that will be under your assets.
Okay, what about CPF?
It's definitely your asset.
Your asset.
Yes.
Don't listen to people that say that CPF is not your money. It's still your money. You still can take the money out.
It is your money, okay? And in fact, you can use it to buy houses next time, or if you have not done so, or you can even invest the CPF money that you have under your loan account. So I mean, if you're Malaysian, of course, EPF is the equivalent of CPF, right? And of course, if you other asset will include like your maybe
cash in the bank,
or cash under the mattress. Some people
physical cash,
put their whole cash. And of course, if you have investment like crypto, right, there's could be your asset if you can sell it off on the market. That could be also an asset, or Bitcoins. And of course, if you have cars. And that's actually something debatable, right? So for me, I see it as an asset from the accounting point of view.
I don't see it as an asset. I see it as a depreciating asset, liability, right? So for me, if I have a car, And if I want to record it in my balance sheet, I usually won't record. I'll take it as an expense out everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Only on the day where, let's say, I sold the car away and I took back the cash, then I'll record the cash back into my
So
asset.
that saves you the work of depreciation every year.
Correct.
Yes.
I just don't bother. I just write it off.
So
like this,
on the accounting point of view, basically income statement he write off in that year. Versus other people who are doing depreciating over 10 years, right?
I'm trying to be more conservative over here in my
So you can decide what you want to treat as an asset,
Yes.
right? In a sense, right? Okay. Any more assets?
Yeah, I think the way you treat the car would be like, it depends on your job. If you are using it to generate income, that could be an asset. Okay. If you are not using it as a way to generate income, I think that is a liability.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, it's debatable, right?
Alright.
Yeah, I think to me assets are things that will appreciate over time.
Okay.
Right? So like your equities, your bonds, your properties and all this.
And your wife.
Like watches, a wife, yeah. Your watches, luxurious watch. Like I think watch do have some certain value and they do grow in value. So I think watches can be put under the asset column also.
Handbags,
yeah.
What kind of handbags?
luxury handbags, definitely.
Hermes, VMH. I think those are
Birkin's handbags.
Yes, you can actually fetch value in the secondary market, right?
Yeah.
So those are valuable, but it's just that you need to. I'm not sure how to value it, right? I mean, you may have go easily just take to be conservative figure. You can just you can lump a figure that you think that is actually worth.
Okay.
Right, but it has to be realistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's art, there's gold,
Rolex,
jewelry as
Rolex,
well. And I recently saw this like bear thing.
Bear bricks.
Bear brick? Is that what it is?
Bear bricks, yeah.
I don't know why that is an asset or
also
valuable.
a question mark,
I see a
question
lot of
mark,
it.
yeah.
Maybe it's a modern version of piggy bank where you put gold bar inside.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is. But I know recently there was an article where some people were busted in Singapore because of I don't know what they were doing. Anyway, you can read the article.
Bear bricks.
Yeah, and they had a lot of bear bricks on the walls.
Yes.
And it's like, why is that valuable as well?
Yeah. Question mark.
But anyway, so I think my definition of an asset is something that you can convert into cash. Whether or not you can do it straight away or not. I mean, liquidity is a different thing. Yeah. But anything that has value and you can convert into cash, that to me is an asset. But for you, maybe because a car is depreciating.
I want the asset to be sort of like an appreciating asset. That means they got history of showing that they do appreciate. Then I will consider it as asset.
Okay. So you kind of define what an asset is, but I think strictly that is what an asset is. And for liabilities is basically what you owe. So most typically will be your loans.
Yep.
Right? Any kind of loans that you have.
Yep.
To
your credit card debt,
your
your bank,
auto loans,
your mortgage,
student loans,
Some
loans.
People
have it, and your credit card loans, and so any things that you owe to other people. Right, if you take money from your parents, I think that if they didn't say that they give it to you, that is essentially a loan.
Okay.
Yeah. So that could be under the loans part, and I think, and then if you take your asset, basically what you have calculated, and then minus off all the things that you owe to other people, that is going to be your net worth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you haven't done this exercise before, because I know for me when I started out when I was young, first thing I was always tracking for my finances was how much I was spending and how much I was making.
Yes.
So most people would think of that, but then I didn't do my net worth for a while because I just didn't think about it. Right.
Yeah.
And then I realized actually your net worth is the ultimate report card when it comes to your finances, because at the end of the day is your assets minus liabilities. Yeah. So if you've not been doing this is basically what you can do right now. Go take out an Excel sheet, pen and paper, whatever it is. Just jot down all that you own. And I think if some of you have not been doing this for a long, have not been doing this, you realize that you don't know some of these things. Like, how much is my property worth? Oh, how much is my car worth? How much do I owe to the bank? Some people don't know this. They have to go and check. And if you've not done this, then you realize, actually, these are the things I have. And it's an exercise that you need to do. Yeah, so I mean, do check it out for yourself. I think it's quite an exercise. It's quite fun in a way sometimes. But that is how you do your net worth, right, guys? Anything else? Would you add inside? This is pretty much it?
It depends how you record. Like for instance, let's say you own a property, right? Some people, when they calculate the net worth, they will go and try to revalue the property, then minus off their loans and all this.
Okay.
To me, it's too troublesome.
You do a cost value?
I do the cost, right? So I try to be conservative. So if I see I'm conservative and my net worth is still growing, then overall, if I less conservative, actually I'm worth more than that. So that's how I would look at it. Yeah.
Okay, but how about stocks then? Would you do it on a cost basis or market
no.
value?
Stocks because stocks is very liquid, right?
Okay.
You can really get the price. So stocks are based on the liquid value. Yeah.
Okay. Victor cannot be an accountant. But from the accountant point of view, you have to take everything as the latest.
Yeah, but my figure is the most conservative figure. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to be overly optimistic, right? You want to be more conservative, right?
Okay.
And if you are conservative and you are still being rich, then
okay.
Yes,
that will be a bonus.
Okay. So actually, you're richer than you look, basically.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what you can do if you're not done it for yourself. Please go ahead and do it. I think it's quite an exercise. And then the moment you do it once, it's a lot easier to keep track of things.
Yes.
And then the other question
and you'll
is,
see the magic as the
years go by. So the other question that follows up from this is, how often do you keep track of your net worth?
Okay, I will do it once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah. If you have spouse, I encourage that you do it with your wife. Right, together.
Or husband, right?
Your husband or wife to do it together. I do it with my wife once a year, every year. We sort of like have a family AGM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will, when my kids grow up, I will do it with my kids. Four of us going to do together.
How old would you want your kids to be?
I think probably when they primary 1, I'll start.
So they will know your net worth.
I probably won't let them know but I will just tell them to calculate their net worth
their net worth. Okay, so
I'll
they
get
won't
them
know.
to do the job.
Because you don't want to let your kids know how much you have or how little you have sometimes.
Right? This is a separate topic.
But that's a good thing because I think kids should
yeah.
have that habit from young.
I mean, if they see their parents doing this, then they're also doing this. Then eventually they will get the habits right. That's what you want. That's one habits that you want to pass down to your kids, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you were to do your wife and you do yourself every year, you know there's a gauge over there, and you every time when you see suddenly maybe this year you see your net worth drop a bit, you say, okay, this coming year I'm just going to save more.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like a telltale sign that hey, you're not doing the right thing the past whole years and all this,
okay.
right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there'll be a trend. I kind of do it every quarter, but I think I realize that you don't actually have to do it that much.
Yeah, correct.
Once a year is pretty good if you're keeping track of things.
Yeah, for myself is to be honest, I do it whenever I think about it.
So how often is that?
I don't know, but sometimes when I think about it, I do mental calculation, right?
Okay.
So I consider myself quite good at math, mentally. So usually I will just mentally estimate, whether I have some portion there, some portion, and what I owe, and then I'll just graph that. Okay, so I don't know actually, right? But I think in a year maybe I could have do it subconsciously like twice.
Okay.
Yeah, but could be not consistently like end of the month, end of the June, and then all December. Right? So that's why I say I'm not that systematic when it comes to this. But when it comes to tracking expenses, I do it almost every day.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have to do it. Otherwise, I can't remember what I spent a month ago, right?
Yeah.
But what assets you own at a point of time is easy to do it because it's just at the point of time.
Okay. Yeah. I think for me, when I did it quarterly, it's actually a lot of fun when you can see the number keep going up.
You see your chart keep going up.
Yeah, because you keep track of things. I mean, we do it for our company as well. We keep track of everything, and to see it go up slowly and steadily, it feels great to know that you're doing something. You're on track. You're not Bill Gates or anything, right?
Yeah.
But hey, you're going somewhere. It's consistent and there are results, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah, and how far or how close you are to your financial goals that you have set up in the past, right?
Yeah.
You say you want to make, let's say example, 10 million, but then you don't track your net worth. Then how do you know you got 10 million, right? So I think you have to really have a scorecard, right?
Yeah. Right. So I think for a lot of people, I think there is 100K by 30 and then 1 million by 40. And then beyond that, it's really up to you.
I think alternatively, you can also treat your life as a game, right? So if you set a certain financial goals, right, then you set the bars on the levels that you are at. So I mean, I do have this in my Excel. I create the levels.
Do you
so when I hit certain level, I just mark the level. Okay, I'm at this level now already, right?
That's nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I treat it like a game, right? Then it makes it more fun when you tracking your net worth and all this, right?
Gamify it.
Yeah, but I like all those like those like more Chinese type of level game. So
give me an example of a rank that you have.
I mean those like cultivations type one. So because I read a lot of all these Chinese novels and all this, so I just put it.
It's great because it motivates you.
Yeah. It makes me like, okay, I'm this level now and all this.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, go ahead and go calculate your net worth if you've not done it recently or if you've never done it before. But would you say is there a net worth that is good enough in Singapore?
I think that's a very subjective answer, right?
Yeah,
Some
question,
people,
yeah. Okay.
some people are happy with even less than $1 million,
Okay.
right? Some people are not even happy with 10 million.
That's true.
Yeah. So it depends on the expectation that you have in life and your lifestyle that you've gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And but what I can say is that once you upgrade your lifestyle, right, it's very difficult to downgrade.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people who start off with very basic things, when they travel economy. When they eat, they don't eat fancy foods. I mean, these people don't need a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
They are happy with it as long as their relationship with their loved one, their friends are solid and they're happy, especially when you have kids
and healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course health is also the most important factor, right, to come into place, right? So having people around you and being healthy, those are the two equations that I think are as important as having enough sufficient money.
There's this saying that I always remember, and I thought it was really good. Some people are so poor that all they have is money.
Oh yeah.
I love that, because then you realize that, hey, it's not just about money. So if you're feeling bad about your net worth, you don't really have to feel bad about it. As long as you're going in the right direction, you will get to where you want to go.
I think at the end of the day, to me, I define that the moment what's the number? There's no number. The number is, right, the moment, let's say example, there's this 4% withdrawal interest when you retire, right? So assume that based on the 4% withdrawal, every year you withdraw 4%, right? And that 4% can sustain the lifestyle that you want to sustain. You are free.
Okay.
So that's my take on it.
So there is a number for that.
But that's based on your own lifestyle.
On your own, right?
Correct.
And every year that net worth still will grow even though you draw out 4%. Right?
Yeah.
So that should be the target instead of having a number itself, right?
So I mean, we talk about this in the one of the round tables about happiness and wealth.
I think
right?
it was like the 7 levels of wealth, actually.
I think the most basic part, of course, you need to get it right? You need to have the income to pay off your expenses, electricity bill. I mean, you constantly have to worry about the next bill is going to come and you have nobody to pay for it. Obviously you can't sleep.
There's a lot of stress.
Yeah. So that level you need to get beyond that, and of course you have to be like more in the independent state, right? So basically the money can help you, like what Victor said, can pay off all those expenses with either with 4% withdrawal rate or from just the interest that you receive from your investment alone can actually cover your basic expenses. And once you reach that level, obviously I think anything beyond that is like your relationship with your friends or family, right? That comes into place. And the most important part is being healthy. Right? There's no point where you have a lot of money and then you just in a poor health state.
Man.
There are times where I'm sick. My whole body just I can't do anything. And even I have 100 billions in my bank account. I'm not going to feel happy because I feel terrible.
But I also got one thing I want to say is what I noticed about. I mean, yes, we actually advocate that we have to be prudent, you have to be thrifty, build out your net worth. But at the end of the day, when you build your net worth until the back part, right, you should spend your money because your money cannot even bring into the coffin.
I think you should spend along the way and not just wait until the end.
I mean, because I've seen people who they make a lot of money, they are very thrifty. But to the end of the day, they don't spend.
And then they don't
enjoy their life.
And then
because my take is like, why you work so hard, but at the end of the day, you don't spend your money because you can't even bring it to the coffin. Right?
That's why I told my parents, right? They save up so much for their entire life and then they don't travel.
Okay.
And only like 7 years ago we started to do a family trip every year.
That's nice. Because those experiences stay with you forever. It's different.
And even my aunt also, she it's like something awakened her. She has money now, right? Versus when the tough time when she went through as she grew up. And she also agreed, what's Paul? I'm now old, and by the time when she is like 70s, when she has hard time walking,
you can't do a lot of things as well.
You can't even travel. So it's such a waste.
Okay, so I think this whole roundtable is about net worth, but I think at the end of it, it's an important thing to do. You need to keep track of your finances and your financial report card in a sense. But at the end of the day, it's not really it. Because it's a means to an end. So then don't get too hung up about what your net worth is right now. or stuff like that, because it's just there's so much more to life as well. Yeah, but I mean, money is important because it affects other things, but it's not the only thing. All right. So with that, I think it's a pretty good wrap up, right, guys? Is there anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, my name is Adam. There's Rusmin. That's Victor.
Thank you
So much for joining us. I mean, if you've never done your net worth before, I mean, do take the time to go find out for yourself. It's quite fun. Even if you need a reminder, this is it. If you've not done it for a long time, but yeah, do find out for yourself where you are and where you're gonna go from a year from now. Keep track of it, and then see how it goes. All right. So with that, my name is Adam. Oh, I've said that already, right? Rusmin.
Yes.
Victor. Any questions about this? Put them in the comment section. If you like this roundtable, please hit the like button, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Many more roundtables coming up, and we'll see you again.